Good afternoon. Welcome to our webinar, Speed Up Month End with Advanced Bank Reconciliation. My name is Adam and I'm the Marketing Manager here at Nolan Business Solutions. And today I'm joined by my colleague and NetSuite consultant, Meni.
Good afternoon. Hi, everyone.
So what can you expect from today's webinar? Well, we'll be starting with a quick introduction to Nolan for those who don't know us. We will then cover our Nolan bank feeds and advanced bank reconciliation solutions, show you how you can use them to make the most out of NetSuite, and we will finish on why you can trust Nolan with your bank reconciliation. So as a brief introduction to Nolan, we've been in business since 1988, and our in-house development team has driven innovation with forward-thinking custom-built solutions that plug gaps in off-the-shelf ERP systems. In total, we've around 1,300 customers worldwide, over 60 employees across the UK and North America, and in 2011, we sold our custom-developed SuiteApp fixed assets to NetSuite, which was integrated into the core NetSuite solution. We'll be focusing on our solutions today that help automate your bank reconciliation, and at this point, I'd like to hand over to Meni.
Thank you, Adam. Let's share my screen. All right. So with Nolan, we build the Nolan Cloud Services to minimize or even eliminate human interaction to import bank and or credit cards transaction into NetSuite, where our advanced bank reconciliation ABR software makes deal with the whole bank reconciliation process. Our aim was to increase the bank reconciliation processing speed without sacrificing accuracy and to keep a full audit track for every transaction that has been ever processed. That help our customers to save time and to generate meaningful reconciliation report in time. This webinar session will show you Nolan Cloud Services and how you work with ABR as a day-to-day user. So let's start with Nolan Cloud Services. Nolan Cloud Services sit at the middle between your bank and NetSuite, allows statement to be downloaded from bank SFTP server or from supported direct connection APIs. Statements are stored in NCS and downloaded to NetSuite by the Nolan bank feeds connectors available for NetSuite in our ABR bundle. Our solution also allows you to pull a bank statement from your NetSuite file cabinet into our ABR system. That whole process is fully automated. Nolan bank feeds basically support several banks. This is just a few examples on the list. And our connectivity option include API connectors or SFTP file transmission. File parser could be BI2, JP Morgan, CAMT 53 or CAMT 54, NT940, and also can be CSV file. New parser can be developed. Is there is a demand for a new format? Please visit our website to see the full list financial institutions available and what file format we can work with. The next slide, we talk about a product demonstration walkthrough of Nolan Cloud Services. This is our NCS user interface. On the left-hand side, we have a navigation panel. Under the home button, we can see, for example, the Oracle NetSuite details regarding the connectivity bank gateway account number or the bank gateway token. Bank feed entity, that is the current page we are on. If you wish to register a new financial entity to add to this list that is under register new entities, user-defined format, you can create a custom import format if you have a specific a statement from your bank. Let's talk through the bank entities. Under the description column, this could be your name of your bank or any naming convention is convenient to you, or can be a credit card company or something is meaningful to you. Connection type is the way you pull information from your bank. If it's a generic SFTP or SFTP user key and password, it can be a manual upload or can be an API connection as well. We also have an auto refresh. It can be yes and no, which means it works together with a refreshing time. So you can schedule it, in that case, every afternoon, 1 p.m. Brings and refresh the connection and pull new information, new transaction into Nolan Cloud Services. The last refresh tells you when was the last time you brought information, transaction into Nolan Cloud Services. Access status, is it verified or not verified? And if you need to take any action. If you have any error message, for example, in the action message, it will give you what action you should take. So if you click on any of the bank description in the list, you can get into the actual bank entity. You can see an information on the header level as we saw in the list. So what is the name of the institution, what is the connection type, and so on. We have access to the bank statement has ever imported into the Nolan Cloud Services. We have a view refresh details if you have in the past something can record when was how many times, what time was this connection refreshed. You also have an option to transaction clear down. If you think some details is not correct from your bank, you can clear down this transaction and bring it back into Nolan Cloud Services after that. Under the account name, you have a list of the bank accounts that are available with this institution. So if you select any bank account from the list, you can get the actual bank account, a bank account number, or bank account name. This can be the same. You have an option in here to search specific transaction using a field ID in that case, but you can change the field search, basically the posting date or the memo or the amount. And every transaction that's ever been imported into the Nolan Cloud Services, it's be here. And also you have an option to export into Excel for your own references. So basically, once you build a connectivity, you not really log into this platform anymore. So that is the Nolan Cloud Services product, and basically that is finished. So I would like to talk you through in advanced bank reconciliation product demonstration. And I hope you don't mind if I turn my camera off at this moment, because I'm turning my head quite a lot between the two screens. So I turn my camera off and we carry on with the demonstration. So, excuse me. The ABR product demonstration will cover the following list. We talk about the ABR dashboard overview for navigation purposes. All the links we're going to is available, and some of them we use it, but not all of it. We talk you through the extract transaction from NetSuite. I also show you the manual import of the bank statement. We're going to show you the auto match rules to minimize manual matching. We talk about auto-generate template to post transactions such as journal entries, intercompany journal entries, or customer payment, including payment allocation. Finally, we reconciliation for all of your mesh transactions. And we also showing you what is the month-end report and reporting capability to using our product. So now we log into our NetSuite environment to walk you through the live demonstration. And we are on the ABR overview. dashboard overview, which is available depending on your user permissions, added to the roles for those who are reconciling bank accounts, and it provides links to all ABR functionality. So you can see ABR setup, all the configuration, creating reconciliation account, creating auto matching rules, transaction type codes. Under the list, we can see all the bank statement brought into the system. Under the reconciliation is mainly all the processing we're doing a day-to-day. All the reports is available with us. So let's click on the reconcile bank statement. We are selecting from the dropdown our USD currency account. Click reconcile. So this is the window you spend most of your time. That is for the day-to-day user, that you pull all the information from NetSuite and your from bank statement. So actually, let's start with the bank details. So the user have a option to switch between reconciliation accounts. So if you have multiple accounts to work with, you don't have to navigate anywhere. You can just switch between one or two different accounts. You have the option to change the statement date, and any future date is excluded from the display on the screen. For example, if you end of the month for October or September, you're not going to see anything happen after that. The GL balances tracks all the NetSuite transaction pulled into ABR. We see the closing balance from your GL side, and also we can see the transaction from your bank side. If I change the date to October, the closing balance GL is already turning to red. That indicates you have more transaction in your NetSuite GL account, your nominal account, than in ABR, which is an indication you have to make an extract, so pull all the information into ABR system. As you can see also in a yellow box, a safe search result shows you that currently is a 263 instead of a 294. So that is the difference you can see between what is in ABR, what is in your NetSuite. In a display function, you can switch between transaction if you want to see all transaction or matched transaction and unmatched transactions. I'm going to show later on once we bring more transaction into the system. I also show you later on the filtering, because as a NetSuite limitation, we cannot see more than 1,000 lines in the system, but you can set the filtering for different criteria. In that case, you can narrow it down your search result, and you can see all the transaction is relevant to you. So let's start our process using one of the functionalities called NetSuite Extract Transactions. You click on the button. The reconciliation account is auto-populated. What you need to just set up is the cutoff date. So last time we reconciled our bank is 30th of September. So we want to pull the details from the 1st of October until the 31st of October and just hit the button Submit. Instead of waiting for the process has been finished, it just takes 1 or 2 minutes, I would like to show you how does it work the bank side of to import any statement into ABR. So if you navigate to ABR, ABR reconcile and import bank statement, open as a new window. You select your format you wish to using for this form, this import. We're using the USD account. USD UK account, sorry, is already linked to against this USD currency account, and choose the file. And I'm going to use this file and click on Open and Submit. Until this upload is finished, it sometimes takes a half a minute, is already completed. So we can go back to our reconciliation screen to see it. So it's pulled all the information to the right-hand side from your bank statement, and on the left-hand side is your NetSuite transaction. But before we talk about transaction, I just would like to show you how easy it is to create a statement import format and how flexible is our system. So if you navigate to ABR setup and statement import format, sorry, my presenting tab doesn't helpful now. Yes, okay. So that is a list of statement import formats. We have several standard one, ABA or BAI to MT940, but our template has been created for CSV, is a USD UK account. If I open in edit mode, so to creating a template, it takes you maximum 1 or 2 minutes. You can name it as you wish. The file format in that case was a CSV file. We're skipping the header row, which means the first row in the CSV file. But what really gives you the flexibility and also the confidence to using these templates, if I'm showing you an Excel CSV we imported into as a bank statement, you can see how the logic works. And anytime you receive a bank statement, you don't have to manipulate your data. You can change the mapping in our format. For example, we know the transaction date is column number 1 as a field number 1. The check number is column 2. Reference is 3, amount is 4, and the transaction type is number 5. If you would like to utilize more information and you have a different layout, basically what you just need to do is create new ABR format definition line. If you click on that, it can give you an option, what field would you like to map into the system? So for example, you have a check number or the credit amount or debit amount or references or transaction date. Let's just use the count number and you can say it was in number 15 column in Excel. So that's how easy to add to your format. I don't save it because it's not actively used, but that's also is basically very flexible. Okay, I close this window as well. So we left the process status when we extracted transaction. So if I refresh this screen, we can tell we brought 11 new transactions. None of them was existing, none of them was updated, or we don't have any exception. If I click on the view button, basically opens up the reconciliation bank statement window straight away, and we can see all the transaction pulled from NetSuite to the left-hand side and all the transaction from the bank to the right-hand side. At this stage, we have an option to see transaction basically or match them, manual matching, or we can automate the system. So at the line level, super easy to match any transaction. If you want to use the manual matching, you just tick the box and click on match, or if it's already been matched, you just tick the button unmatch. So, but we don't want to do that. We just want to leave it for the latest if it's any transaction left after we're using the templates. So instead of running to the manual matching, we're just going to use one of the functionalities called auto match. So what you have to do is just hit the button and click OK. So basically the auto match button, this runs the matching functionality either based on the default value and the date, or using the advanced auto match rules, and we'll match transaction between NetSuite and the bank statement based on the selected criteria, or you creating the specification on each template. That went through 60 record and has been matched like 9. So let's see what record has been created or matched, sorry. Okay, so as we talked about earlier, we have the display function. So if I select the matched, because I want to see what is being matched, you can rank based by the date, by the transaction number, or I'm going to using is the unique identifier, which is the match ID for the transaction. On the NetSuite side, if you scroll to the top, we have 11 transactions matched again 15 transactions. So let's talk about the rules, what it has been used to make these matches. So for example, we have in the memo field, I just for my own benefit, I put the rule name in a memo field just for clarity. It doesn't put by the system, I just add it to the transaction as a memo. So for example, it's quite a common things when we have a bill payment run on NetSuite, so multiple lines against, so it's a 350 transaction. I can search this match ID if I'm using the filter. I tell the system I would like to find every matched transaction that have the identifier as 350. This is the below on the bank side, and that is the GL side NetSuite. So if I click apply, so this matching rule 0, basically, if you have multiple lines in NetSuite, so it's many transactions against one transaction, because usually it happens you have only one payment line in your bank, but several payment line in your NetSuite. Other rules we can have like one-to-one transaction rules, or we can have many-to-many, or one-to-many, or many-to-one. One of our, so if I clear the filter, and I change back to the match transactions again, one of our rule number 3 is called 351 transaction. Let's use the filter again, just for demonstration to see what transaction matched against what. So that is another way around. So in some cases, you have one transaction in your NetSuite and have multiple transactions in your bank. So this rule actually using several specific criteria that makes it extremely useful. One of them is the date tolerance. So it tells the system, even if it don't happen the same day, you can still able to match together if the references match under the name, which is the supplier name, and in the reference in the bank statement is you can find the same name. It also tells the system, however, my bank is providing a reference not as accurate as in my NetSuite, so please ignore the first 3 characters and using the match from the character number 4 to number 8, for example, and match against this BCOM. Also, it groups the transaction together if they happen on the same date and they have the same reference using the from to function. And if using the mark all button, is clear the grouped amount must match with the one line amount. So if this criteria all matches, can match the 2 transactions together. So in that case, it's 5 transactions, sorry. Let's clear the filter again. One more rules I would like to show you, which is I think it's really cool, is the amount tolerance we're using with Crown. So Crown has, which one was it? 352. 352 and 352. Apply. So in here we can see in a bank you paid more than actually was the payment in your NetSuite. So you have a amount discrepancy. So you can set up a template that tells you if the transaction reference criteria matches, you don't use maybe the date tolerance right now, and the date is matches. Even if I have a tolerating £10, so if it's less than £10, match these two transactions together, also create a journal entry. If I click on the view button, and this £5, by the way, this using your default journal entry template, and also it can be picked up by your journal entry workflow approval as well. So the template is generate you a journal entry against your bank and whatever nominal account you name. In that case was cost of goods sold, bill variances, and also you can name the vendor or customer on the line level. Okay. So if you would like to see any matching rules, what we talk about, you just navigate to ABR setup and auto match rules. So we talk through the 0 rule, the 3 and the 4. So if I open, for example, number 3, that's how it looks like when you creating a new rule. So it picks up every transaction that the transaction type is 200. I name it as rule number 3, whatever is suits to you. My priority is number 2. So I tell the system, please do the priority 1 first and the priority 2 once the priority 1 cannot match this transaction. In the tolerance field, I can use, as I showed you earlier, the amount tolerance, and also you have a template if you want to create something. I also told the system to using the date tolerances as 5 days. So if NetSuite transaction happened 5 days earlier than the bank transaction, I'm still happy to match these two transactions together. And in the grouping, I said, I don't want to group on the NetSuite side, but I would like to group all the transaction in the bank side using the references, and also make sure I start from the digit 4 character 4 and instead of character 1, and group by the statement date. So that's how the rule number 3 worked with our BCOM transaction. So let's reset the filter. So we left with several unmatched transaction, and as you can see, is only 1 transaction in NetSuite and 10 transaction in your bank statement. So the next function I would like to show you is the auto generate functionality with ABR. So if you click auto generate, so basically, how does it work? Auto-generate start process checking ABR and auto-generate template against the bank statement lines to confirm the criteria. And if the criteria matches, it could basically create a transaction that wasn't existed in NetSuite. And still working. So basically, using auto-generate template, I can navigate from here to ABR setup to see what template we are using it until the system is running at the background. So with this function, we definitely created one of the transaction. It's called a delivery. So imagine you have a company that charges to you maybe a direct debit, is doing a delivery services. So I call this as a delivery international, and on my reconciliation account is a USD account, is a priority number 1. And my matching rules match the transaction if the transaction type is 200, and if the delivery words is in my bank statement reference field as delivery. And also I want to make sure the DD-del is in the transaction number. I'm telling the system then, please create a journal entry for this subsidiary and put this cost, again, your P&L or balance sheet account. In that case, it's just an example for as a postage. And using the transaction memo from your bank statement, and link these charges against this supplier. So the delivery is the actual entity name, so it's one of your vendor or supplier. And it basically does to you the journal entry, so you don't have to allocate these charges. Let's go back to the process page. Let's see how many. All right, so the process has generated 8 new transactions. If you click on the Here button, it's drop you back to the Reconcile Bank Statement. So it also, if I select the Matched tab and rank by that's the easiest way for me to find out what was the latest matching ID. And in that case, I know what is being generated by the system. During this process, we created 3 types of transaction. One of them was the journal entry, as I showed you earlier, for example, the delivery. We also created a intercompany journal entry. So if I click on the View button, that can shows the created intercompany journal entry in NetSuite. So the NetSuite transaction ID open up the actual journal entry. Same logic as with any other journal entries, we are using the default intercompany advanced journal entry template. And on the line level, we have 4 lines because 2 lines basically is between your 2 subsidiary on the payable intercompany payables. And 1 is from the bank, and 1 of them is on your Netherlands subsidiary AP account. And on this account, your supplier is linked to this transaction. So in this example, the UK subsidiary is paid a product for this supplier with the USD account, but this cost should go to the Netherlands subsidiary linked to this supplier. Okay, if I go back to the reconciliation page again, the next transaction I would like to talk you through is we also created customer payments, and these payments were allocated against outstanding sales invoices. So we have 2, with this example, I just created 2 templates for this payment generation. One of them is a generic template that uses the invoice number. For example, in the reference, your customer is provided that was the invoice number. And the transaction reference field and the search is outstanding sales and customer invoice with an exact match, and that creates a payment and allocate it against the outstanding invoice. If you have a custom field you're using on your invoice template and you have a different referencing method you provide to the customer, that can be handled by our system as well. It doesn't have to be a standard NetSuite field we can use with this template. So for example, if I open up the invoice 397 in a global search, INV 397, I just would like to show you how you can start to find this payment from the NetSuite side. So as you can say, someone is checking the AR account and find out, okay, we used to have like an outstanding invoice. Now it has been paid. If it's fully paid, the status. If you scroll down and go to the related records, here we go is our payments. If I open up our payment that's generated by ABR, it tells you that was the payment amount, is no unapplied, is fully applied. And also we have an ABR subtab. If you click on that one, it gives you the direct link against the bank statement line. So it can tell you that was the transaction date on the USD currency account. What was the amount? Sorry, date created. What is the invoice? What was the memo? If it's been this transaction matched, yes or no, and it has been reconciled, yes or no, and the transaction type is a payment. Okay. If you go back to NetSuite, you also have so we have another type of template. We can be more customer specific. So for example, Strain Zeneca, in that case, our template is 360 and also the match ID is 360. We can open up the bank transaction line, which shows you what was the transaction date on this statement line, what is the amount, what is the reference, the transaction type, what is the bank statement I imported into the system, if I have any match ID or if I have any reconciliation date or if I have any reconciled statement number. What we really after now is what was the transaction template we used to create this transaction into NetSuite. So it's number 15 is the internal ID of the auto-generate template. So if I open, that is the actual template we work with. So it's slightly similar as the matching rule template, but it has slight different functionality because it's create a transaction. So basically, in that case, we told the system we're calling straight Seneca as the name of the template. The reason I put priority number 2, because I want to make sure, first of all, using the invoicing logic as priority number 1 to create. And if the system cannot find any reference for invoice number, I'm using a more customer specific template. Similar logic with the matching, I'm using what the transaction type is 100. I want to make sure this is an exact match in the reference field as strain. I don't want to be like contains or something. I need exact match because I don't want to create a transaction and mismatch with something. A posting type in terms of generation rules is a payment. So I'm telling the system, please create a customer payment for this subsidiary on that reconciliation account against the trade debtors nominal account using the reference, whatever the bank gave it to you or your customer put in the reference field, and link this payment to the customer. Also, I'm telling the system, sorry, I put in edit mode. I'm telling the system, please allocate this created payment against this customer. And I would like to use the allocation method as oldest first, but can be newest first, match by reference, match by the amount. Okay. So that is how is a template look like. Okay, I think if I change the display to unmatched, and also I reset the filter just in case if I've accidentally left some value in there. What I've really left with is the exceptions for my day end. I don't have any auto match template for that one. I don't have any auto match auto generate template to create. So what I can do with these free transaction, I had a customer payment last month, last day, but I had to create it the first day for October. So that was unreconciled in the previous month. So I just match these two transactions and click on match. Okay, I still have one transaction left. So also you have an option at this stage to tick this box, create a new template if you think this transaction can happen regularly, or if it's just maybe an example, just maybe a refund or just a charge which is only happened once. In that case, tick the box. And you have an option to create a journal entry or an advanced intercompany journal entry. In that case, I'm just going to create a journal entry to this transaction. So it's auto populate all the relevant fields to you. So you can change it's populate the date pulled from your bank statement line. If the currency is USD, subsidiary, posting period. You can approve straight away from here, or you can leave it as pending and your workflow approves it, or whatever is your process is. So on the line level, have USD currency, and you can from the list. So any nominal or balance sheet account you can put against. You can use bank test or something like that and add, and just click save. So this is also using your default template, journal template. Okay. So if you go back to your reconciliation screen again and refresh the page. Sorry. We shouldn't have any unmatched transaction left behind. And you can see the last transaction has been created. So we reach the point when we are happy to reconcile for the month end, or every day, or every quarter, or every week, whatever is your process. So let's just make it nice. I just change the date to 31st of October. And the final check, I also make sure reset the filter, so make sure it's nothing been left on. All the transactions, nothing been unmatched. I also check my bank balance. Do I match with my bank? Yes, great. Do I match with NetSuite? Yes. And also you can see in a yellow box is no transaction has been created in NetSuite that is not pulled into ABR. Is no outstanding transaction, and I don't have any differences. So what basically I just need to do is to hit the reconcile button. Click refresh. Okay. So if I click here, basically we go back to the reconciliation window, reconcile bank statement window, where we spend most of the day as we started. And as you can see, all the match transaction is took out from here and is on the report, which I'm going to show you soon. So if I navigate to the ABR and go to the reports period reconciliation, leave this page now. Select the account I would like to see the report. So we have the list of the reports relevant relates to this reconciliation account. Our last statement, the 31st of October, it shows the NetSuite balance. We don't have any difference between the NetSuite and our ABR. So unreconciled is 0, and the same applies in for the bank statement. Nothing left unreconciled, not as last month when we have a 550 last day customer payment. If you would like to see the report as a PDF format, you click on Report. So that shows you that report has been generated on the 6th of November. This is a closing balance report, a statement that 31st of October is a US currency account, USD the currency. Account number is give you the balance date has been reconciled. If is anything outstanding is list out there, both sides, the NetSuite side and the bank side. Also, it tells you how much was last time has been reconciled, what was in the current report has been reconciled, and that's why your closing balance is the difference. If you scroll down and you left any outstanding transaction, that part of the search is list out to you. If you matched all of your transaction and you reconciled, is under this section, reconciled NetSuite transaction, and each transaction type grouped together. So for example, all the payments, customer payments we talk about, sorry, it shows you the date, the match ID, which are unique, the name of the customer, if it has any transaction number, the memo field, and the amount. So also shows you the bill payment, vendor bill payment, and journal entries. And if you scroll down, it shows the reconciled bank statement transaction. In that case, you can see all the credit and debit is separated, but the same logic applies. You can see the date, the match number, and the memo, and the amount. If you can download this report and email to your manager or be part of your report. Also, we have an option to, if you would like to see the same report as an Excel, we can navigate to ABR reports and Excel closing balance. You select the relevant account you want to run for. Click on Next. In asking you the statement you wish to generate is 31st of October, click on Next. The start to pull information from your bank side and from your NetSuite side. Click on Next. So you don't really have to do anything, just click on Next. And the status, it shows you what is the current process. As we show, it was like 5 lines. 5 is remaining, so the system is working and generating the Excel report for us. Now, here we go, it's done. So what you need to do is just click on the report XLS link that give you the Excel report. Okay, and I'll make it slightly bigger. And as we've seen before in the PDF, the same logic applies. But as we know, all finance people love Excel, and if you want to include it in your reporting, is brilliant. And also another benefit with, you have the match number, which is unique, all the amounts, so you can make a VLOOKUP between the two as well. You can find transaction very easy, and you can see what transaction was in NetSuite, what transaction was in your bank statement, and the matching ID is superbly useful, especially if you have several transactions matched against only one transaction. Okay, so I closed down these 2 Excel sheets. We don't use it now. Other reporting capability, just quickly, we have a standard report that is easier to customize. Anytime you would like to find any bank transaction or NetSuite transaction that you used in ABR, basically we have saved searches that's easy to customize, or we have lots of filter options. So for example, you would like to find a transaction for the USD account only for October, 1st of October. And for example, you're looking for maybe a specific amount. Let's use -17 or 2.33. And it brings back to you the transaction line from your bank statement and tells you what was the match ID and also what reconciliation statement ID this transaction is on. So it's really easy to find in the system. You don't have to make half a day investigation. So at this stage, I finished the product demonstration in NetSuite. So just one more thing I would like to mention, which is extremely useful. So combining Nolan Cloud Services with advanced bank reconciliation, Nolan products, we can scheduling all the tasks as you see in the last half an hour. So we can download the bank statement to see in ABR. We can extract NetSuite transaction to pull into ABR. We can automate all the matching rules is already been generated rules. And also we can use the auto-generate template to creating NetSuite transaction. So imagine you scheduling this task 7 o'clock in the morning. So when users start work at 9 o'clock, technically they need to make deal with the only exception, as we had like a 3 transaction, the 550 from last month, and 1 transaction that has no any information in NetSuite. So thank you so much for your time, and I would like to turn my camera back on and hand back to Adam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minnie. That was great. So just a little bit about us in the realm of bank rec. So we have the experience of this. We've been doing this for over 20 years. We know the challenges that you're going to be facing with your current bank reconciliation and how our solution can help. We have a strong accountancy-based background team that can help implement these solutions for you. We will train you to get the most out of your advanced bank reconciliation and to manage it going forward. While Nolan Bank Feeds is designed to be an easy wizard-based self-setup. We also offer support services with our in-house support team. So we're always at hand if you're facing any challenges. And last but not least, by using our solutions, your business will change for the better, and our consultants will help you through this. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching this webinar. Thank you very much, Minnie, for all of that. It was fantastic. Our contact details are on the screen. Please follow us on the social channels and get in touch with us if you'd like to learn a little bit more about it or ask us questions. If you ask us any questions today in the chat box, and we'll come back to you as soon as possible with those directly. Finally, you can scan the QR code on the screen. It will take you to our Advanced Bank Reconciliation Solutions page on our website, where you can learn a lot more about the solution in detail. And other than that, we wish you a great rest of your week and look out for our upcoming webinars. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye.